Hello and welcome to another episode of Good Clean Gaming. I'm your host Jalindo, and today we're playing more Euro Truck Simulator 2. So we made it to Liège, and we're going to be picking up some forklifts in Liège and delivering them to Amsterdam. That's right. For the first time in our series, we will be in the Netherlands. So, hold on. I was already on the right street. Let's back up. Netherlands. So Netherlands is an interesting thing. I just got in a conversation at work recently about the Netherlands and had to explain, and actually had somebody in the room that understood what I was talking about. Had to explain that the Netherlands and Holland are not the same thing, that they are different things, and that the Holland just kind of represents, without going into too much detail, Holland kind of represents the place where most people live in the Netherlands. I won't go into greater detail than that. If you want to learn more, check out CGP Gray's video about the exact subject I'm talking about right now. So we're going to whip around here and pick up this load. Some forklifts. Whoop, too far. And stop. I'm going to go out this way, even though it says to go out the other way. Taking a right right here, taking a right right here. Probably should hit the gas in order to actually go to the right. And taking a right from here as well. Yep, here we go. And we didn't get stuck on the curb. Look at us. We're good at this. Gonna take a left at the green light. Whoop. Gonna go up here and make a U-turn. And then we'll be out of Liège area, place, time, whatever. I'm sad because I see a question mark up there, which means I didn't actually explore all of Liège. I must have explored somewhere close to Liège. Oh well, I'll have to come back to Liège. Future project. Explore Liège. If you are from Liège and would like for me to pronounce that properly, I always thought it was Liège. I could be wrong. Let me know. Is it Liège? It would be Liège in English, but it seems like it'd be Liège with the little accent mark there. So I don't know. Let me know. Comments below. Thank you. Bye. 90 kilometers per hour is the speed limit. That'll be 55 miles per hour for those in need of conversion. Cars can go 100 kilometers per hour. That's about 60. Again, I'm using round numbers here so that people can memorize them easier and worry less about getting the exact number right. I'm just going to take up all the lanes on the highway. Luxembourg to the right. Luxembourg. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated into the Luxembourg. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. There hasn't been one yet, and hasn't been really a whole lot of talk about one yet. But I'm really looking forward to a new series of Star Trek. I really want to see that. I miss the old. I grew up on what's known as not just sci-fi, but what they call space opera. Can't talk today. I grew up on space opera, and basically what that is you put the show in space and you have a spaceship, and a lot of the show takes place on or related to the exploration of that spaceship and where that spaceship goes and how the crew deals with situations and things like that. That's typically what you see in a typical or general space opera. So you think of your, Star Trek, any of your Star Trek series, any of your, I guess, I didn't get a percentage, so I'm good. I guess Farscape would count as that, I guess. Firefly would be a good example. Babylon 5. You know, I miss all these shows. And there were it seems like there were so many of them in the 90s. And that was a big thing. And I just watched them all, and I loved them all. And it seems like they dropped off the face of the planet recently. And by recently, I mean like 10 years ago. And I miss them. And I hope that they bring those kind of things back, because I really enjoyed those. And I think I know one of the reasons why they disappeared probably is that, you know, people in the past dreamed of that as a future. And I think people may have stopped desiring that as a future. It may have become less interesting with the kind of technology we have now. Some of those ideas became outdated, and some of the ideas, you know, became unnecessary. There was less mystery in space when you have, you know, more powerful telescopes and more findings and more readings and studies and things. And when everything started to become real and there was less what ifs, I think maybe people moved away from the genre. At any rate, I guess Star Wars is kind of like what I'm talking about, but that was less about a starship than about, you know, a moral story. Well, there are a lot of them moral stories, but it was like a, you know, good versus evil. It was almost like sword fighting, but in the future, but in the past, long time ago, in a galaxy far away. But yeah, I really miss the Star Trek series. I really miss Babylon 5 as a series. I want these things back. I'm just going to drive in the middle of the road because it's easier right now. I miss those things, and I want them back. And I think there's enough fan base, but I wonder if it's the cost. Because in order to make things look good in the 90s with a starship, compared to what you were competing against, and the fact that it was on standard definition, you know, back then you had standard definition, so things were going to be a little blurry on people's television sets anyway. You had standard definition. Most people had like 30-inch TVs, 5-inch TVs, things like that. And so, you know, you could get away with just making it look kind of like what it was supposed to look like, and then the blurriness would kind of help you out and take you the rest of the way. You didn't have to make it look completely authentic. And that's one thing I'm mourning about the advent of the HD TV, is that you can see all those little imperfections. And so things that I enjoy, like sci-fi and things that require good graphical presentation, on HD it takes so much more money, to make it look authentic and awesome. And because of that, because it's more expensive, they don't make as many, and they start making things like reality TV and things like that don't require you to make it look really authentic, because reality TV is authentic. It is, well, I mean, it's real life. It's not real life because it's all pre-figured out and pre-planned and, you know, scripted and all that. But, you know, what I'm saying is you're filming real people in real places. You're not having to create a set. And that works on HD TV. Whereas the stuff that I watched back in the day with, you know, I loved sitcoms, I loved sci-fi space operas, and I loved all that. You could get away with a lot less cost back then than you can now. And I think that's proven to be the death of a lot of my favorite genres of TV. I don't really watch TV anymore because of these changes. I can't stand, I know reality TV is very popular, but I can't stand it. It just screams to me of wasted time and energy and emptiness, meaninglessness. I'm getting real deep when I'm talking about reality TV. This is weird. So, but there doesn't seem to, I don't get any depth out of it, I guess is my point. Whereas, you know, on like a Star Trek or Babylon 5, I get these moral questions and I get deep thoughts, and it forces me to think. And I also don't get a lot of, you know, today, I'm more in television today. It is so difficult to watch because I turn on, I haven't had a cable TV subscription in a long time, but back when I did, a few years ago. It seems like I did this experiment where I would flip through the channels and I would spend only like 2 seconds on each channel, 2 or 3 seconds, and then I'd flip through all the channels. And the test was, could I get from the first channel to the last channel, spending 3 seconds at a time, and not hear any profanity or any beeps, beeping out, any censoring of profanity. And it was just an interesting, concept. So I flipped through the channels, and every time I tried that experiment, I didn't make it to the end. I would make it like halfway through, and then it would be beep, 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 and I was like, oh, failure. And I know there's a common theme of, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Yeah, I get that. I understand that idea. And I don't watch it. And I understand where you're coming from when you say that. But at the same, or I shouldn't say you because it's not everyone. I understand where those people are coming when they say that. But try to understand it from my perspective as well, which is, there's a part of me that, well, there's a large part of me that really wishes. It's hard to explain exactly what I'm trying to say here. I really just, I miss the days where I could watch TV without seeing like a lot of profanity and a lot of bad stuff and, on those channels, and have to avoid certain channels. I know there's freedom, and I know there's, people should be allowed to watch what they want to watch, and I know all those arguments, and, I'm not arguing against, the way people think and the way people believe and all that other kind of stuff. What I am saying is that I feel like certain things are exclusionary. So take for instance profanity. If you have a movie without profanity, that's not going to exclude anyone. People who like profanity aren't going to be excluded necessarily from watching your movie just because you don't include any. They might not enjoy it as much, but they won't be completely excluded. Whereas people who take a stance against profanity, people who say, I'm not going to watch anything with profanity, they are excluded from enjoying that. And I know that goes right along with, if you don't like it, don't watch it. And I don't. I go right along with that. I agree with that. But at the same time, I wish people would look at it as, why do we need to exclude anyone? I don't know anyone that says, I'm not going to watch that because there's not enough profanity, But I do know people who say, I'm not going to watch that because there's too much profanity. I wish we could eliminate all the exclusionary stuff. I guess when it comes down to it, it comes down to why I made this channel. I want people to be able to watch things as a family and watch things together. And the more of that there is available, I feel like the better it is. I want entertainment where, I guess, an 8-year-old can watch with a 60-year-old and they can both enjoy it. I like that kind of, all-encompassing entertainment. And I don't like certain things like, profanity, because it makes it where certain groups can't watch it. It excludes certain people, and I don't like to exclude anyone. Too much realistic violence, gore, that kind of thing is the same thing. I've never heard someone say, I'm not going to watch that movie because there's not enough realistic violence and gore. But I have heard people say, I'm not going to watch that because there's too much realistic violence and gore. So it's exclusionary. And I just wish all those little exclusionary things, I wish we had less of them, I guess. That's all. Maybe I'm just mourning, I'm in mourning and lamenting a time that doesn't exist and possibly never really existed. Or maybe only in my head. But I do wish there was something more like that nowadays. Anywho, I think that's why one thing that makes YouTube and Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming services, I think that's what makes them so very awesome, because I can see, when you have television, it's hard to take the stance of you don't like it, you don't watch it, because when you're flipping through channels, you're forced to catch some of it. On the other hand, with YouTube, you can say, you catch it once, and then all of a sudden you just block that channel, or Netflix or Hulu. You just don't watch it anymore, and you can completely avoid it because you don't have to flip through anything. You don't have to surf channels in any of these things. You just have to eliminate channels once you see them if you don't want to watch them. And I think that's what makes it so awesome, because it brings back a little bit of that world that I want, of being able to have a all-inclusive environment where everyone can enjoy clean entertainment. That's just awesome to me. If you haven't noticed by now, because of my interests, I end up watching a lot of G-rated movies. I think pretty much all the movies I watch now are either G or, you know, some PG movies. I generally don't watch any PG-13 or I've never watched, I don't think I've ever watched an R-rated movie in my adult life. Now, you know, before I was an adult, who knows? Probably did catch some of those. I watched a lot of movies on TBS because they would always take out all the profanity and all the bad stuff. They just cut it out, and I really love that about TBS. TBS is a great example of kind of what I'm going for with this channel. It's you know, this is going to be something, if it's on TBS, I know I can watch it, and I know I can watch it with my, you know, with my parents, or with my, if I had kids, I could watch it with my kids. I could watch it with anyone, and I wouldn't feel weird or strange about it, because I know they're going to do a good job of removing things that I don't like. Yeah, we're just going to do the parking thing automatically again. Loop. I cannot get the parking down anymore. I had it on the early episodes. I started getting really good at it around, I don't know, episode like 10, 15, and then, I don't know, I just lost it. I can't seem to get it lined up properly anymore. At any rate, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you listening to me jabber on about my stuff, and let me climb on my soapbox a little bit. And I hope you're willing to, if you enjoyed it, I hope you're willing to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Obviously, I hope I didn't offend anyone, and hope to see you next time. Remember, keep it clean.